What is up? Welcome to this week's episode of Lambgoat's Vanflip podcast. This one's been in the making for quite some time. I think I approached you all at the Baroness Jesus Peace tour in Asheville, and that's where we started this kind of conversation. But luckily, months and months later, here we are with you guys finally on the podcast, and there's been a lot going on in your camp and just a lot going on. Like, you got some new music coming out, new tours and stuff, which we'll get into. But welcome to the podcast, ESCUELA Grind, finally, and I'll let you guys introduce you since there's multiple of you here.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll start. I'm Katerina, the vocalist. I'm Krissy. I play guitar.
I'm Jesse. I play drums and write music.
Sick.
And we're ESCUELA Grind.
ESCUELAs. Yeah, you guys have been really cool about a lot of things. I just want to come off rip and say that because, Lambgoat's synonymous with some commenters and some stuff, and you're one of the bands that does catch a lot of the good comments, so to speak. But you guys are roll with the punches, and I do have to say kudos to the big homo shirt. I thought we here loved that.
Hell yeah,
it was all in good fun.
Yeah, no, it was really cool that you chose to feature some of the comments, which part of me was like, oh no, I hope that doesn't make our commenters want to comment even more outlandish because they can get featured on someone's merch, so to speak. But no, we thought that was a really cool shirt, and I think Dylan even bought one. I don't think I bought one in time. I think it sold out or whatever, but he got one.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, well, we take lemons and we make lemonade. What can I say?
Yeah. One thing that recently happened is you guys announced the tour with Body Box and Wisdom and War.
Yeah.
And
we have a tour.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we've got a tour coming up October. We're going out to Mayhem Fest and back, and with that, a bunch of dates around the United States. So we're stoked.
You guys stayed touring quite a bit in the last couple of years, so you guys keep grinding on it. Because you guys went to Europe over the summer, correct? You went for a pretty extensive European tour.
That's right. Yeah, we pretty much just got back from a 2-month tour out there. We did so many different festivals, of which they have a whole culture around that in the summer, which we experienced for the first time this year. And before that, we did another tour in the Europe and UK region. And we always stay on the road.
Yeah.
You live in a van.
Yeah, you have to sometimes, especially in this kind of extreme music world. A lot of van living has been being done on a regular basis. The weird thing I thought about that particular story coming out, not story, but when you guys announced that tour, there was another outlet that they phrased it such in a weird way that was very humorous. We're not big fans of that outlet, so to speak, so I'm not going to call them out by name. But I thought it was quite weird because, they have people that are in the same kind of camp as you guys have in your band, and it just seemed very not nice of them to kind of throw that headline under you, basically throw you guys under the bus. So how do you guys deal with just online stuff whether it's headlines or getting love or hate on the internet?
With it, taking a deep breath, doing some yoga, taking a break from it, finding palate cleansers, maybe trolling them back a little bit, people back a little bit.
Yeah, you guys are great at that.
Sometimes.
You guys are really great at that. I do see you guys in the comments on some of our Facebook stuff or Twitter, and you guys are always cracking one back at somebody that's saying something in the comments, and I'm like, yeah, more bands probably should do that, but maybe they don't want to do that because obviously it may come off a certain way, but I always chuckle. I always chuckle when I see you guys in there going ham at it with someone else.
We usually, I don't know, just give it a little run through.
Yeah. We try and keep it fun too. It's never try and attack someone personally, because most of the time that's what they're trying to do to us, and that doesn't feel good. So never try and do that. It's just all in fun, and at the end of the day,
I think at the end of the day, it's just about upping the engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That definitely does kind of work in your favor, obviously, when you're, going back and forth. It's just weird that you guys are such a polarizing act, so to speak, in the, the hardcore and grindcore world. It just, I don't know why you guys kind of got bestowed the most talked about, group in this little world here, but it seems like you either have fans that really love you or fans that really can't stand you. So, kudos to that.
They're fans nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I guess it's better to have a glass half full approach to it. Like, we are being talked about, and like, there's so many bands that would kill for that. And like, we had a long time where we weren't fucking talked about, and we were trying to make shit happen for ourselves. So yeah, I mean, roll with it, like you said.
Is it weird that because you guys have had kind of like the last 12 months, like whether you guys have announced something or for some reason or another you guys were just a part of a story or something like that, whether it's the Freemason thing or the getting dropped on your head at the show thing, or for whatever reason, it's kind of like you guys have been just in the cycle lately for the last year. Geez, I don't even know where to begin on that, because there's so much, and like, there's so much that's been said, whether it's about you guys or in defense of you guys. So it's just kind of like, I'm trying to wrap my mind around like how you guys just continue to just like push forward, whereas like, I'm sure people said that you were canceled many times in this past year, but yet here you are, like new single comes out after the EP, you got, you're recording stuff with Kurt in God City. You just, the Body Box tour is coming back, so like how, just run us through a day for you guys in the last year, like just pick a random day and run me through what that was like.
A random day?
I
don't know, man.
Okay, let's take, for example, when I got dropped on my head, not on purpose. Those kids are really fucking cool, and I feel really bad that I let it get to that. But, like,
a little bit on the mic.
we do a lot of stuff on our own. Like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of the duties that most bands would have, like, staff for, we just take it upon ourselves. So any given day, regardless of whether or not you're dropped on your head or your fucking neck hurts or your sciatica's busted, like, regardless, we are still out here and we still feel the propulsion to keep pushing, like you said. And it comes from, inside, from a place of not feeling like anything is going to be given to us. And like, if we don't make it happen for us, who's going to? And also from a place of, we didn't think this would happen for us, looking the way we do and being who we are. So it's like, I always have to give my best and always have to do it. So with that being said, any given day, we're doing like a lot of different shit for the band all the time, making art, fucking practicing instruments, fucking shipping orders of merch and stuff out. Like, we're operating still like a DIY band in a lot of ways, just with bigger tours and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. There's other members here that would, I'm sure, jump at a chance to respond to that. What do you think?
Just pick a day.
Oh, just in general, like what's a day in the life of a ESCUELA grind like?
Yeah.
It's changed in the last year, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we were touring 250 days out of the year last year.
Depends on where we are too, honestly, because we spent like quarter of the year in Europe, it feels like. So
yeah, that's also true.
Life there is very different.
We're sitting in a van, like traveling somewhere, and then we're dealing with like daily culture shock. And I don't know. People just expect us to react like normal people. It's not normal to travel this much.
Yeah, I get that.
Be stuck in a van and to like only people that you communicate with are just people you don't know every day, So it's just like the only people you know are like your bandmates.
Sometimes, yeah, it's very much like that.
You get lucky, you play with friends or whatnot. It makes it better, or you make friends.
That's pretty cool, at least whenever we're able to like tour with friends. Like that Acacia Strain tour, that was fucking probably one of my favorite tours. Both of those runs we did with them and like the other one with No Cure and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Napalm Death is one of those people, some of those people you can tour with, they're like friends or whatever.
Yeah, you bring Napalm out. That I was going to bring up your collaboration with Barney there. You got a couple of collaborations on the upcoming album, Dreams. Excuse me, Dreams on Algorithm, on Algorithms, which is coming out October 18th through MRK and Heavy, Monarch Heavy.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, you guys did a couple like collab, features, so to speak, with people. So like, what kind of obviously the Baroness one that doesn't seem too far off because you guys did a tour with them recently in the last year. But that, I mean, you had Gina on one of the songs or whatnot. So like, how did those come about for the new album?
What was that? What was the question?
Sorry, how did those collabs come about?
Oh yeah, it was from touring straight up. Like we had some people that we knew lived pretty close to us, and we had a really tight recording schedule to do everything. So we asked Vincent Bennett from Acacia String.
I just straight up asked them. I'll be like, "Hey, you down to do?" And they'll be like, "Yeah."
Also, everyone needs to know that this album was mostly written in a van while we were touring with these bands. Yeah. Like Jesse was playing through the aux system of our van, like just through I wrote a couple riffs too, but like it was mostly you up in the front, plugged in the aux cable, just going over the same riffs, Yeah, I think obviously those bands rubbed off on us a little bit, and like having some of those guys do the features and whatnot was really cool.
Yeah, very.
That's a lot of other people too, honestly. So
yeah.
I think sometimes I just like being around certain people, and then I'll just ask them, just out of the comfort of being around them.
Well, what where would this release kind of like put the trajectory of the band? Like, where do you see it going after the release of the album is done? Do you guys plan to like tour for a little bit? I mean, obviously you guys tour a lot, so do you guys plan to do more touring for a longer period of time, or how often do you want to crank out like material and stuff like that going forward?
I don't know. That's a good question, right? I haven't written anything for the band all year, so
yeah,
it's
just ideas.
We know we've always promised this 4 EP collection of genre EPs, of which we have one more left that we've promised, in which being hardcore. So we know that we're going to write that EP at some point and record that, but that gets a different treatment than a full album release. So I don't know, we definitely always want to tour. It's our livelihood. It's what we love to do. It's great, like where we shine, I think. So yeah, more touring. We've got a lot of stuff in the works for next year already, and some cool stuff in new places. So not to say too much, but yeah, I see us touring, and
we're trying to kick it off beginning of the year 2025. Sure. That's definitely our intention. So
nice.
Yeah.
How is it for like, again, you guys just seem to put your head down and just keep going and keep going. What drives you? Like what drives you to be not only in a band, but in a band like ESCUELA Grind, an extreme, metal / very niche audience having, job? What drives you guys to want to do that?
People want it. It's like there's people that actually, like they say, whoever still cares at this point. It's just people are there, We go to the shows. We're not playing to empty rooms, It's there's a crowd there, and they're always thanking us. Yeah. So really, just like the gratuity from other people that come to see us, and things like them telling us like this is keeping me alive, that kind of stuff. Yeah. That kind of stuff makes it to where I'm like, whoa, I've touched that person's heart, I have to keep doing this.
Yeah. I mean, we just got back from Europe, and, the movement of having like Girls to the Front and lots of female bands and queer bands, like that's like just starting over there. We're kind of used to it a little bit now over here because we've lived in it for a while. But
I hate that that's like the main thing people bring up whenever.
I know. I did just.
I'm actually like getting real sick of it. Like I want people to focus on like the music and like the live show and the energy, not any of that other superficial shit. Like
I get that, but I only bring it up in the sense that we went to Europe where that's not a thing, and there was people like coming up to me, like girls being like, "I saw y'all last year, and I told you I wanted to start a band, and I started a band," and that didn't just happen once. That was like a lot of the time, or like
all over.
It happened all over. It happens here too. Like, you know, it's not to say that it doesn't happen here.
It's
So
pretty amazing.
that's very fulfilling.
Women, it's like all sorts of people. So
Just like, you know, it's that's what it's all about in the end. It's making those connections, that meaningful connections, you know.
Yeah. What drove you to be in a band in the first place? Like, what got you into, you know, not only being in a band, but like extreme heavy music as well?
I like video game soundtracks. I don't know, that's how I found out about
good.
Yeah, we played a lot of video games.
Yeah, my
as
dad
kids.
took me to see Iron Maiden. And
Like Mortal
Motorhead.
Kombat.
And I heard I heard fucking Ace of Spades, and I was like, oh, 2 the fucking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. This is fucking Motorhead. This is that fucking skateboard band.
All the skateboarding games, like Mortal Kombat soundtrack, even the movie, like you talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Like all those, like System of a Down, like I played a lot of WWE games as a kid, so like I listened to like 3A's Grace too, even like all the corny stuff. So
Yeah.
That being said, we're all different ages. So like Jesse's 36, I'm 33, Krissy's 26. So yeah, like we all have found that as being like an influence on us, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. How does being in a band with such, you know, not that it's a wide gap between ages, but you know, like me and my siblings have like similar age gaps, like 3 or 4 years between each other. So, you know, it's kind of unique in that aspect of like growing with someone like that. But how do you guys juggle that in the band?
I don't know. Just
You know, we all kind of.
it's not really something I even think about now because like it's been like 5 years.
all
or
jumbled in. All
I've
the
been in
music
band, so-
we listened to is kind of all.
Yeah.
We listened to certain types of music that were similar, and I feel like us being in different generations, my bandmates are able to put me on to like really cool music. Like I can listen to like a lot of Gorguts or anything until I got in this band. So there's like tons of different influences, and there's some influences probably from my generation that are rubbing off on my bandmates. So
Yeah, like
So
you showed us
really
like
working
Sophie and all that hyperpop
Honestly,
stuff.
yeah, like 100
Never
Gags.
knowing about that shit. I'm like,
I was never a fan of Knock Loose. And Krissy just like play it, and I was like starting to pay attention to their like song structures, and I was like, wow, this band is fucking actually pretty fucking sick. They got crazy little transitions and shit.
we all influence each other in that way, I think, which is awesome. But I'm definitely the one that's guilty of being like, oh, you're too young for this, or you. Oh my god, I say that so much when I'm talking to Krissy. It's bad. I'm bad.
like they definitely need a lot of patience. I think when I first joined the band, but I was pretty young. I was like 21.
No,
Something
like,
like that,
you-
20 years old.
Yeah, you were like showing me all this metalcore shit that I was like, this shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like eventually, I don't know, like the more I would hear it, the more I was like, well, there's like a lot of elements of like power violence in some of this stuff. It makes me think of like, oh wow, you know, that's probably what power violence was. It's like them just like making this genre just different than what it started off as originally. Yeah.
Yeah, like today, I had this with my bandmates. So I was like, I've just been practicing the Avenged Sevenfold like all day. I was like telling my bandmates, this shit is genius.
Yeah.
There's
So
I'm like, I know they're not going to see it the same way I do, but it's,
Saw that Avenged Sevenfold in My Chemical Romance days. You know, I remember that.
yeah, we all were there at some point, and now you get to live that now. You know, 20-something years later. So basically, like I'm hearing kind of like the sound for ESCUELA Grind is forever kind of growing. Not only because you're doing the genre EP set, but because you know you have to school each other on each other's like you know musical taste, and there's such an age gap of like a decade almost between that. You know, clearly some people aren't going to be knowing what's going on in current day, and the younger people may not know what's going on back in the day, but you can school each other. And then again, that probably goes over into spills over into writing. So I'm sure that changes on an ever lasting basis.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah, your
sure.
philosophies grow and they change.
And it's like, it's so hard to like get caught up in the thing that you're doing and like make like a straight path for yourself. Like, I think this should be this. I think this should be this. Have all these hard set rules, and like the way we communicate with each other and like all the influences, we're always bringing in something different. Like there's never like that path is never so like strict. You know what I mean? We're always open and willing to like take influence from each other in that way that you described. And like, we're willing to like experiment with our sound in that way too in a bit. So
And when I was like learning, when I was teaching myself how to play guitar, I was learning songs by like, I was like learning Silent Circus, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that shit's all over the fucking place, you know? So it's like, you know, thinking of that aspect of just putting a bunch of elements together into one like concoction, you know?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Is there anything that's ever like not on the table as far as like influences or like experiments that you're not willing to do for the band or for this particular group, I should say?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like we could take anything and make it like death metal or something. You know?
yes, but there probably won't be an Escuela Grind country record. Like, we're not going to do the fucking Post Malone, Beyonce thing, but maybe, never say never.
There are already elements of country in the band because we do the polka beat all over the place. And that is just like one of those like all-encompassing like the mariachi beat, the corridos, you know, the fucking people in Europe utilize that shit and everything. It's just like that skank beat is just everybody uses it.
Yeah, like I mean, I think there's a difference
Something we
between.
wouldn't use. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a difference between. I know it's not exactly answering your question, but there's a difference between like being influenced by what you like and paying homage to it and pandering. And like we never want to come off as that. Like we're only ever gonna do like genre EPs or like put in something if it really truly like is authentic to us and connects with us in that way.
You know, I'm not a fan of clean guitar interludes. I think that's like the corny shit. It's like filler. It's like it is literally like corn.
But you liked you know, between the Baird and Me, they do have some kind of clean guitar.
Yeah, but I don't like that for us. You know?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
not. Yeah, I know.
Like
I'm like
Keeping the energy up.
yeah, it's like that. Like I'm gonna have distorted guitars the whole time. Yes.
I can see that. I can see that. But like any 100 Gex kind of like hyperpop influence going on.
That would be kind of cool.
because it's something that like Krissy
We
showed
talk about the
us.
breakbeat stuff, you know, like
It
maybe.
It would be
Like the Garden or something like
I don't know if we're
that.
gonna have our own DJ anytime soon, but
Yeah.
It
You
would
know
be
the
like the
question.
complication of including that stuff would mean that we have to like start mapping out our set
Yeah.
to like a metronome
That's
or
true,
something like
true.
that, which would be cool, but it's like I guess it would just be a lot of work and we'd need some time to work on it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Kat, how did you figure out that you wanted to do the vocals in like you know, in a crazy band? Like how did you get the notion to do it? And then, you know, did you always figure that you could scream like or yell, or it's something you had to work towards?
Yeah, I say this a lot, but I'm not musically inclined. I've always said to like work to be halfway decent at anything musically. So maybe that mixed with self-conscious or whatever. Growing up, I just never like asked to be in any bands or never like started anything myself, which I regret doing totally. So when Jesse asked me originally to join Escuela back in 2016, when we started it, it was like, that was my chance and I just jumped at it and did it. So I always kind of knew that I could scream, but never really like had a band to try it out on. And I, you know, did band in school and did clean singing and whatnot. So that was already something that I had experimented with. But yeah, it just felt like the right time and the right energy and the right combination of being bored and energized by this music that we love to like start what was our original version of this band. So yeah, I guess it just happens. And
Interesting. And Jesse, how did the band come together in the early days?
This I lived in Ithaca and I was already in like 13 bands before that. I just like got burned out twice. So I wasn't in any bands at this point, I think.
yeah,
But I met this kid in town at an ACXDC show in Ithaca, and we're just like, let's start a band that's like grind violence. And then we just met up, and every time we practiced, we would write a song.
yeah, it was really
And we had the 3 songs in, and I was like, we didn't ask Katerina to do vocals because I'd seen Katerina do like, we used to do karaoke all the time.
a classic story.
And the way they got into it and karaoke to me is like, I was like, huh. You know, I just thought about that like while we were practicing, you know, so I was like, I could probably do it. They're like pretty charismatic. I didn't really care what they sounded like. I was just like, you can just scream into a mic,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was raw. We definitely had more punk ethos back then, for sure.
Well, when did you guys decide that, it was like you had something, like you had a little bit of lightning in a bottle? Was it at the first show, or did it take a while to kind of like
It was when people started paying us like $100 and $150 a show. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting paid.
For me personally, this one night, some person in Indonesia like posted our demo to like a Facebook group or something, and I like woke up the next day with like, I swear to you, 2,000 friend requests on Facebook from people in Indonesia, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, how did this happen? Like, that was just like, okay, hell yeah, like this is maybe something bigger than what we thought it was. So
there was like no, there was another point in time where shit just hit the fan with us, like on the internet.
Yeah.
People were just hating on Katerina and I, and like, I just looked at those Bandcamp stats, and those Bandcamp stats were like, do, 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 do. I was like, whoa, I've never seen a band ever get those kind of stats.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at earlier, because you've just been constantly in like the headlines, and every other couple of weeks it feels like in the last 12 months or whatever, whether it's Creamy Chris things or, the
C word.
Creamy C.
The bush.
We're calling him Creamy C.
Yeah.
Well, that was our bassist idea. He came up with that one.
He was like claiming it, He was like, yeah, Creamy C.
It's in hindsight, he probably doesn't enjoy that, but I've kind of forgotten what happened in that situation in general.
Shit, in hindsight, I wish I didn't hire them.
Yeah. Like I said, we went from like this phase of like doing mostly everything ourselves, if not everything ourselves.
Please, universe, grant me with a competent team this year, and then
we had these people.
Management really wanted for us to do, they wanted to see that for us.
Trying to not have to do anything. Yeah. No, my name's
it's hard to step away from what we're doing too, even with the team. Like we're realizing that, even like still, like over the last couple of months, we're realizing.
Like
shit sucks actually, because we were on such an up without all that.
It's still one of our favorite tours ever.
That tour was
infamous.
It was so much fun.
We did so well on that tour. It was just like, whoa, I can't believe we're selling out the Sanctuary or like the 300 cap room, or
Reggie's is full. Like,
I can't believe we sold out Sonia's. This is weird. Like,
yeah.
Dope.
And I mean, like, doing the photos with the bushes or the Freemason thing or whatever, like those things will just, they definitely get the name out there. And, people say there's no such thing as bad press. And like you said, you're seeing all this engagement, so to speak, and your name thrown around, and the Bandcamp stats and Spotify stats just keep going up and up and up. So
that's pretty cool.
It doesn't. Yeah. It hasn't like hurt you over the last year at all, and it kind of just adds to the lore of ESCUELA grind.
There's like conspiracies. It's kind of insane. Like
we don't even have to go any lore building. It's incredible. There's bands that have whole stories and universes and cinematic universe bullshit. The fans created for us, I guess. Or the anti-fans, I don't know. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, do your fans, do the fans that come to shows and stuff like that, do they bring up any of that stuff, or do they just kind of...
so often, but not really.
But in the grand scheme of things, no, not at all. Like, I think it's more about just, experiencing the event.
They're more like laughing about it.
Yeah. Because they know us. We've been playing.
No one's heckling us on stage.
We've been playing the same venues for years, just with more people each time, So we've been seeing a lot of the same people, our diehard fans. We've been seeing them forever. They know us. We always go out and talk to our fans after the show. It's it's not like that. So and at the end of the day, our fans are there for the music, they can engage with the online rhetoric whenever they want to, if they want to, but they're coming to the show to watch us play. And and we're entering this era of kind of fuck it to all that extra stuff. We're really honed in on music and getting better at our skill and our instruments and writing. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been asking bands this lately, but like I just blanked on the question I was going to ask you. Fucking A.
Damn fool.
Yeah,
What you been smoking on?
Not the same shit y'all been smoking on just today, but I did do some recent smoking. I was out west last week, and we don't have the weed stores where you can walk in and just buy the weed here in Florida. So that was wild to do again in Florida. But
how'd it feel, dude? How'd you feel being like normal?
I mean,
it's not cool. Demonized.
I don't necessarily think it's demonized here. It's not like I haven't done it for like 20 years, but so it just but it does feel weird to like not feel like you're going to get arrested smoking it on the streets out in like, Seattle or whatever. But, I did find myself getting a little freaked out just because I still have that old stoner mentality of like where it is super illegal. But I was like, the cops are gonna fucking stop me. But I'm like, dude, people are doing heroin like literally like on the street already. So
you're like, they're all right.
Just
living their best life.
They're just nodding off all over. That's the one thing I thought was very strange, being out there. But that's just something we don't have necessarily here in Florida. It's usually just pills, so it's not necessarily the actual heroin. It's the pill version, but
it's all discreet.
Yeah. What do you guys do? Like, obviously, you're doing the ESCUELA grind pretty much almost full time in the last couple months or years. But like, what do you guys like to do outside of like what makes up, your personality outside of the band?
Damn, I'd go hard on Pokemon cards.
Yeah, we sell trading cards and we go to shops. And it fills our time too. Literally.
They love Pokemon. They love their games. They love Yu-Gi-Oh.
Buy and sell that shit.
We all, it's hard because our schedules are so up and down. We're home for like a couple weeks. We can't really have like a job when we're home. So we end up kind of doing that sort of freelance sort of stuff to get by. Me, I'm an architect. I have my license in Massachusetts, and I fill my time in with taking projects here and there. And then sometimes I get to help out friends and recording studios and like people that have questions. So that's cool. I find myself being useful in that way.
Interesting.
What else do we do?
I used to sell a bunch of weeds.
That's usually the job.
A large hobby of ours as well.
I used to screen print a lot too. So there's tons of
the band really just was like it's all about the band, and the fans. Like that was a lot. That's been life for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. My camera is blurred right now because I don't want my cards to be seen, but I sell sports cards online too.
Nice.
So, sick,
not Pokemon, but I'm well versed in. I played it when I was a kid.
It's that game. Do you stream for the cards?
No, I don't. I try not to make it a bigger thing than what it needs to be.
Dude, streaming is sick, dude, because you come across all the crazy fools that are like, I'll give you market value for that.
No, yeah, true. But then I'm like spending a lot of time streaming when I need to be focused on like Lambgoat things or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely feel that.
I have trouble
selling them shit.
No shame. We've definitely like been close to like not making it on time for like loading and stuff because we've been at like shops in the UK and whatnot, like going to look for Pokemon cards and shit. So
I get that.
The deals, man, the deals.
Well, I went to before I left, I went to a Seattle card shop and nice. I was looking for my Florida teams, and I'm assuming I'm like, I'm all the way across the country. No one gives a shit about those teams out here. So I found a couple cards that I brought back with me. But,
okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the way to go about the cards. Yeah.
You can find crazy deals in shops sometimes too, because they price it like at a certain time, and then they still have the card a month later, and then it just like shoots up, and they just have it at the same price. You can just buy the card then, and then it's like, whoa, I just got this at like 60% of the value of it.
So how'd you get into Pokemon?
Well, I was into that stuff when I was a kid. I couldn't really afford it when I was a kid, though. I think that's kind of why. I would just like mow yards and buy a couple packs every once in a while. But like, over the pandemic, I had the whole weed thing going, and people would trade me Pokemon cards for weed. because that's what they had in their basement and stuff
Like
like
McDonald's had Pokemon cards, and the guy at McDonald's would trade you.
that. Yeah, the Pokemon guy he would take like a whole box and trade me. And just like, I don't know, just recently I was like, damn, I have to do something with these Pokemon cards that I have here. And like just trying to figure out what to do with them. I like learned a bunch of stuff. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy little community. Like I started vending and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you meet all those vendors and
Get sucked in even more.
it is different because like it is kind of like going to shows, but like it's like every time you go to a show, it's like a festival.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot
like
nerdier
50
too.
bands.
A lot
But
more.
it's like
It's a
one
lot
person.
nerdier. A lot nerdier.
Yeah, it's a lot nerdier.
Smells
And-
probably the same though.
No, it's not that crazy. It's like
I just played.
you know, it's just like a bunch of real nerds, like the super nerds, and then like, you know, families, like, you know, a bunch of like dads.
Yeah.
just like coaxing their kids to come see
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff so they can buy cars.
Try to get them into their little hobby they had when they were a kid.
Yeah.
I went to Dallas a couple of months ago, and we went and saw the Power Trip. One of the things we did there was the Power Trip show, the reunion show they did.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, sick.
And in the
Damn,
same,
I wish I was there.
that was a pretty cool show.
Huh?
What was that?
Well, I wish I was there,
Oh
man.
yeah, no, that was a good
Was
one.
that the show? Frozen Soul played that, right?
Yeah, Frozen Soul, and it's Trey from Creeping Death's other band. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Flesh Rot.
yeah, Flesh Rot. Yeah, that was them. But I also the Dallas card show was in town, so I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours
Yeah.
there. That was very intimidating because it was a large card show, and I felt like I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in here, man. And I just had to get out. I had to get out of there after like an hour. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in here.
That's this weekend. Almost went.
Yeah. Yeah. We got there's a card show that they moved right down here in this complex by my house here, and the first one is going to be like early August, but we'll be at Furnace Fest, so I'll miss it, unfortunately. But it's going to be right next door, so I'll probably end up going to it a lot more. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, I got into Pokemon when I was like in 9th grade or something like that, way back in the day.
Really?
I got
Nice.
into Go, Pokemon Go. I got into that too for many years.
Us too.
We're on
Yeah.
Pokemon Go. Yeah.
I was gonna say
I
from
stopped.
the
But oof.
from that addiction of the cards, we all got into Pokemon.
I was like,
Go
I
on
need
tour.
something to supplement this.
It's like it's the best game for tour. We're constantly like walking around. It shows you literally shows you a map of like where things are to go and look at. So
Yeah.
you go follow it and you're there and keeps us active.
Yo, vending is so fun though. Trading is so fun. I don't know. Something about trading is so fun.
So do you stream or do you do any of that stuff like for the cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stream and I open packs for people sometimes, but mostly like I stream and sell singles.
Krissy streams too. Yeah,
Krissy does Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like Whatnot. Like we do Whatnot.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I've definitely tried Whatnot a few times, but because it's starting from the ground up and it's just like, you know, basic baseball card stuff, it's not really like a huge market, but you know, I sell I've pulled a couple cool ass cards, you know, out of spending. I stopped buying boxes and packs because obviously it's a giant waste of money sometimes. But you know, I've gotten lucky on a couple like blaster boxes. I pulled a card recently that I sold for $1,000, and
nice.
I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy cards for a while. I'm just gonna like let that win sit for a little bit. Yeah. I sold a card before we got hopped on here for $15 off my eBay. I do it on eBay, so you know.
You do it on eBay?
Okay, we're okay.
Yeah, dude. Vending, dude. You should try and vend, man, somewhere.
I wanted to do it. I could. I have because that would be the easiest way. Because putting each card on fucking eBay one by one, that's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
You should watch this guy. You should watch this guy, Bulbla Store, on YouTube. Then just use his formula because a lot of people watch his channel. And when you use his formula, they're like instant, like yes.
Like okay, I get that.
You say 70 cash on you know purchases, like 70%,
Market value.
and then 80% trade on your favor, and then people are just like okay. You know, instant, you know, and it's just like sick. You're just like trading up all day, the whole time you're there, you're just trading up.
Do you
Trade secrets with the spoiler ground?
No, but it's all because of the mobile store guy. That's his principle, and it seems to be like widely accepted.
It's just
I don't know if it's
putting,
his principle, but it's some principles at work.
but it's putting the actual card on the eBay that is the grind. That's what I'm talking about. The physically adding it to the store one by one is like, because I have thousands, right, that need to go in the goddamn store.
Yeah.
You have thousands of cards.
Yeah, it's all blurred.
Standing in baseball.
Yeah, it's baseball cards, so they're not like, they're not cool like Pokemon foils or anything like that. They're just like,
You should try and vend, dude. See how it happens, dude. Because that's what I was like. Whoa, this is crazy. Because you end up with way more than what you got there with.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But that's not the goal sometimes either, Jesse. I'm trying to get rid of it. To get rid of it.
Yeah. We haven't learned that yet.
So I usually just sell them on Whatnot because like I'll sit there on a stream for like 3 hours, and people I'll just like go through my stacks,
Sell bulk.
and then you're talking to other like-minded people, they're just like they get what you have, and it's all about the cards. It's about nothing else but the cards and how you handle like shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pain. Some of that stuff is a pain, especially like dealing with like returns or people trying to say it came damaged. It's like, bitch, I know it didn't come damaged.
Oh yeah, that shit too. So it's like you can go through it with them on there, and even I don't know, even that's not foolproof. I guess sometimes people will still complain, but like
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
but still, you just gotta. I don't know. I'm at like 1,400 sales right now.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
it's just,
I got
and I've got some bad reviews, but I got a 4.9 still.
I am a top rated seller on eBay, so that's like one of the hardest things to do.
How many sales on eBay?
My feedback is over 400, so that's buying and selling, right? So my thing is I buy stuff on eBay to sell again, but yet it just goes into the box of shit that I need to sell. So
Exactly.
it never goes back on eBay.
I do that with gear, man. Just going with gear.
Yeah.
Like gear fiend. There was a point on tour where you were on like every single Facebook marketplace looking for this.
I found stuff on. Yeah, I picked up a PB Butcher on the road. Yeah, it was in the back of the trailer the whole tour.
Finding crazy deals.
Do you find
Crazy deals.
like for equipment or for cards in general? Anyone can answer this, but do you find using Facebook Marketplace? I feel like it would be more sketchier, but I also feel like
PayPal goods and services, dude.
True. But I also feel like you're gonna find more people that have no idea what they have. Idea what they really have on Facebook Marketplace too. I feel like.
Oh yeah, dude.
I found some of the gear I use on tour just on Facebook Marketplace.
Or like they see money right quick and they just get their gear quick. Like they put it for stupid cheap just to get
that's what the thing they need costs. Yeah,
they need it to move or some shit, and
sometimes people
you're just there in the right place, right time. So
sometimes people just want money, and if you have like X amount, they're just like, well, fuck it, yeah, you can have it.
Yeah,
and it's like even if it's like 40% market value or something,
Yeah, I definitely lowball.
Oh yeah, lowballing. Yeah,
lowballing is sick.
my partner fixes amps too, so like we fix pedals as well. So we buy things broken. If you know how to do all that stuff, like you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that's broken isn't really broken. It's like it just needs something like just need to push something one way or
it needs like a cap. Something like that. Recap. Something easy. Chill.
I guess it's just the name of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, Rick Ross. I think Rick Ross said it best. Every day, I'm hustling. So
whenever our bassist Justin joined, I was just like finding basses for him that he could play in the area on Marketplace. He's slowballing everybody like stupid hard, just like
dope deal on
it. He got like a really good deal on a BC Rich bass.
Great, you need to fix it up, but it looks like.
I was
just like, I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I like to lowball, but I think a lot of people get offended and not reply back. And I'm like, I'm just trying to start a conversation of pricing. This is what I'd ideally like to play, but I'm flexible too. So just hit me back with something. But a lot of people,
I hit him with the laugh react. I'd be like, you tell me.
Yeah. So
then they'd be like, the best I could do is this, and it's like their bottom line. So it's like you don't waste time that way. It's like, cool, nice, no negotiating. And you can be like, and you can still even come back with, well, I'll give you like this, and they'll be like, yes or no. Yeah. I don't know. We got that Justin's base for 375, and the guy wanted like 500. You know, so it was like I said 200. You know,
It was on discount for like 600. You know, so,
Yeah, lowballing for the shit. Expect like an eBay or whatever. That's good stuff. I like.
It was also horrendous. What color was it before?
it had this like green
Oh my God.
slime painting. It was the BC Rich Warlock base.
Oh my God, it was like
And
Nickelodeon slime. It was really
we were, like,
atrocious.
trying to sell it more because he did this nice paint job, right?
So bad.
I spent hours getting this off.
I feel like if you're just not, if you spend less time critiquing what they have to get them to lower the price, and you just give them numbers straight up,
Yeah.
they'll be like,
You'll find it.
they'll just be like, this is what I can do at the end of the day, and then you could always play along on those margins. You can go a little less. Or
I'm gonna win the trade secret.
They'll probably take a little less. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Or
never
if they
know.
have something that you want, you can be like, well, how about?
Just being nice, just being nice. Someone will be more apt to maybe give you a deal.
Yeah.
I like to say, what's your best price on that? That's what I always like to lead with.
There you go.
What's your best
That's
price
nice.
on that?
Usually
give
if
me
you
a
give the number first, though, it's like, dick move.
Yeah, but my number, that's what I'm saying. My number is going to be a lot lower than you want it to be.
Yeah.
So what can you offer?
Yeah.
It's like, let me get a number. Most of
Um,
the time, yeah, that's when you deal with the low balls. Yeah, I don't know. Shit. It's tough. You got to be patient. I think patience is the key.
Yeah, I mean, I do get lowballed sometimes on my store too. That eventually, like after, like the card I sold right before we got on here, I had been like sending offers to people for roughly about the same thing that was offered. It was a couple dollars lower, but I was like, fuck it, dude. I don't want to look at this card anymore and just get it out of here.
Yeah.
Just get it. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Man, there's definitely one card I had that was like a high dollar card, and it went. I had a price set double market like that, and someone bought it at that price.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the one I sold, I put for $9.99 like $1,000 because I was like, I just don't know. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I was like, I just don't want to. I don't want to research the price on this because it was a one of one, right? So like, I had it's a one of one star player in baseball and yada yada, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just deal with the pricing tomorrow, and I'll just put it for like $100 or $1,000. No one's gonna buy it. I went to bed at like 3. It was 3:00 in the morning. By 7 o'clock in the morning, it already sold for full price, and I was like, damn
Hell
it!
yeah.
I knew that I lowballed myself.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Still like
It's for the community at that point, dude.
No, yeah.
for the culture. You did it for
I have cards that go for way less than market value all the time, and I'm just like, hey, $1 started this for y'all,
Yeah.
streaming with like 20 people in there.
Do you do breaks? You sell breaks and stuff like that on your streams?
I did like a Yu-Gi-Oh box break, like legendary Blue Eyes collection or something like that. I don't know. It's one that Krissy's like, you should get that.
It's the new 25th anniversary ones. And they were like 60 quid in the UK. They're like $240 now.
Sold it for like $110, and Krissy sold hers for like
I haven't sold mine yet, but I have them up for like $220. I don't give a fuck.
I was just like, whatever. I just make some money real fast, and
It's nostalgic, so
yeah. And then I opened like two full boxes on a stream. That shit was tight.
Do you guys?
And then like the people. What's up?
Go ahead. Finish your thing.
Oh, nothing. I'm cool. Good.
Do you guys flip anything else?
This is a fucking rabbit hole, bro.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna take this excerpt, and post it on the Death Metal Charizard.
You should. We need all the views we can get in general. So yeah, share it around.
Yeah.
But do
likewise.
you flip anything else outside of cards and like equipment?
Cards, gear,
Weed, but like
Hell yeah.
weed,
not so much anymore.
band merch, shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It feels like the same game.
Yeah, sometimes it
Just
can
selling
be.
cards
Like,
now, dude, and fucking
smoking
just do
weed
some
and selling
vending
cards,
shows and
brother.
streaming.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
because
life.
like, dude, you can do 3 streams a week and end up with like 3-4K just in revenue, you know.
How do
Or
you sort?
sometimes-
But how are you sourcing your your inventory? Do you just buy on Whatnot too, or and flip it on Whatnot, or do you go to
Sometimes,
stores?
yeah, like I end up getting stuff half price on Whatnot all the time. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then like fucking Facebook Marketplace, dude. That's it, really.
yeah.
And then the shows when you're vending, people always sell you stuff there.
Yeah. And there's no I don't know necessarily, but are there any autographed cards in the trading card games? I know you get like autographed like by artists and stuff like that, but
Exactly.
Yeah, voice actors from Pokemon.
And sometimes like they can sign the outside of the slab versus the actual card. So like after you get it graded, they're not signing the actual cards, that they're signing the outside. And
what about do those don't come in the actual packs though, right? Those are signed out after the fact.
You have to like seek them out at cons. And stuff,
okay. Yeah, that's one of the cool things, I guess, about.
Yeah, I saw printing into the card.
Like voice actors and artists are what I've seen. I haven't really seen any.
The conventions are where it's at though, because everyone's just like fucking pretty much just like slinging cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like at this point, it's just like cash dealing. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's. Sometimes I'll watch some of these videos for like sports cards on YouTube of like, you know, buying deals and trading at trade nights and shit. And part of me is like, man, this is like the new washing money. It's like how to wash money, I guess.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this dude came with his like 3 kids, and he like, you know, they gave me the puppy dog eyes, and he's like, can you trade up for a card? We're trying to do the trade up thing. And I was like, all right, dude, here you go. You know, and he came back, and I gave him like a $70 card, and he came back with 2 cards that were worth like $550.
Yeah, he made it up there.
So like,
you just need to look younger. You need to look younger and swindle people like that.
it's just like an old guy that was like just manipulating everybody with this.
Yeah. He's like,
no, I do like to. I do like to do the autographed cards because, you know, if I started collecting just regular cards, I can collect a bunch of fucking regular cards that have like, whether they're limited or not limited, but I feel like the autograph cards are really what I've started to hone in on recently. But I don't like. I still haven't really spent a lot of money on like sourcing like specific cards to sell, like specifically. I usually end up buying like expensive cards for myself, which again is dumb because that's just a waste of money rather than like trying to flip it and whatnot. But I do need to start like going to shows or something like that and be like, this is something that I don't really like, but I know that this was sell for double, so I'm just gonna buy that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So just like like you have your cool shit and you just have your stuff as a display.
Yeah.
And then people will come with their collections and be like,
it's not for.
And then you can look through their collections and find all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And pick it. You know, you can pick what you want. And then be like, well, this is what I know will sell. Like, this is the liquid that I want, you know?
Yeah.
This is how much water I can put in my cup.
Do you play the actual game? The Pokemon game?
When I was a kid, like I said, I couldn't afford it. So, like, I would go to my friend's house and try and play, but, like, I didn't have, like, the right cards, so I would just lose all the time. Yeah. So it was just like...
You can't build your own deck.
Yeah, I couldn't even build my own deck, you know? It was just like, I just didn't have that. My family just didn't have it like that.
Well, now you do. Now you do, so you do learn.
Shit. I have to buy it for myself, you know what I mean? Yeah. I could only get so much.
Well, now that you have the ability, you need to learn how to build a deck.
Exactly.
That's what people are telling me. I'm like, and the way I collect is very much. People are always like, the way you collect is like you're building your own starter deck. The way you collect, I was like, what?
That's what everyone else is looking for.
So it's just like the way I already collect is like somebody that plays. So it's just like, just because I was like a real big fan of the cartoon as a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was definitely big into the original 150. I think when the game started doing more than 150, the Game Boy game, I started to be like, what's going on? Also, I was getting like older in high school, so like I wasn't really necessarily focusing on that. But I did come when I came back to nice. When I came back to the Pokemon Go game, I was like, oh, there's like fucking 800 Pokemon. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Although that game definitely taught me all the new ones because, like, you know, but
Pokemon
Krissy's the only one that played through all of the games like that.
Almost. Like I think I fell off towards Pokemon X and Y.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh more, like the card game.
I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh video games. Like I knew how to play originally, but now there's like special summoning and whatnot. I have no clue what's going on.
Yes,
and they have like Megasing, and then there's like Master like dueling. It's like it's so out of my league. But me and my twin sibling, we shared Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and my old ones are so messed up. And like just from not taking care of them.
A lot.
They
of
could have
them.
been money, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. It's like
Definitely didn't have the cards when I was little. I remember my dad saying they're fucking stupid to me at one point. So I was like, okay, well, there goes that. But I did have the Game Boy game, and that was like the best. That was the best. Original Game Boy games were the best.
I've tried to play that. We played a bunch of times. I have the Emerald emulator,
That was the best.
the Emerald ROM and
the best.
emulator on my Mac that I try to play every now and then, but I just can't get around to it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Emerald? That sounds sick. I want to play that one.
I can
Haven't
send
played
you
that.
I can send you the ROM. It's no big deal.
Yeah, send me that.
Will do. Well, guys, I appreciate it. It's been quite
Aw.
fun. I'm glad we finally got to do it and get to the bottom of the big homos. The big homo funded by big homos.
Hell yeah.
That's good stuff. And again, thanks for being a team player on that. And fuck the other outlets. They suck.
That is. No, thank you. Thank you
I
for
appreciate
making this
that.
possible for us, and we appreciate
Letting us talk too. It's nice.
Yeah, no
all for
problem.
coming up and
Oh.
saying what's up with the show. Like that was
Go hard on
really nice
trading
to meet,
cards.
so,
Yeah, we definitely side tangented it for a little bit, but yeah. Speaking of that too, is like when I came up to you guys, I was like, this is gonna go one of two ways. It's either gonna be like they don't care or they fucking hate us. And there's been a couple times where I've gone up to people and they've hated us, and I'm so like, I'm well aware of that it being a possibility, but I'm glad. I was very surprised that you guys were open to it, so I appreciate that. I do want to bring up one more thing before we get out of here. How did you guys link up with Harrison and the guys from Body Box for the tour? Was that just something that like you just know about them, or is it like a package that you were offered up?
No, it's just agents that know each other just talking.
You should have a good
So,
time.
yeah.
You should have a good time with Harrison. I don't know if you know anything about him, but he's an interesting cat.
I don't know anything about him.
Well, you
Willing to learn.
smoke weed, so like I think you're already in good company. I think you're definitely gonna have a good time with him. So he's a little bit younger, but he's an interesting, fun cat. I like to hang out with him every time. He doesn't live too far from me as far as like in Florida, so I run into him quite a lot. And
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
he's a cool.
Yeah,
dude.
we love Florida. We don't get down there enough, so all the
That's
Florida we
true.
can take.
Yeah, you
I
know,
love Florida.
bring it back down. We have not legal weed yet, but it's hopefully soon.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Much love, man. Thank you
Hey, I
so much.
appreciate you too, homie.
Peace.
Later.
Ciao.